So, how do you completely redraw the map of the Middle East in just 38 days? Today, we're diving into Operation Epic Fury, a war that was all about breathtaking speed, just overwhelming force, and a huge strategic gamble, fighting a perfectly synchronized war on two fronts at the exact same time.
All right, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the synchronized masterstroke that started it all. Then, we'll get into the unrelenting fury of the campaign itself. After that, we'll see exactly how the Axis collapses, and finally, we have to talk about victory's heavy price.
So let's set the scene. It's the early morning of February 28, 2026. A decision is made, and it is a wild one. Not just to go to war, but to attack two enemies in two different countries at precisely the same second. This was the beginning of something the world had truly never seen before.
I mean, just look at the timing here. It's incredible. At 1:15 in the morning, the final order comes down from Air Force One. 1 minute later, that's 60 seconds, at 1:16, the strikes begin. And before the clock even hits 2 a.m., more than 500 targets in both Iran and Lebanon are getting hit. The coordination is just staggering.
So who are they fighting? Well, it's really important to get this. This wasn't just about one country. The axis of terror was a whole network. Think of it like this. Iran was the head, supplying the cash and the weapons. And its proxies, like Hezbollah, they were the fist, doing the dirty work and spreading Iran's influence.
And this is where the strategy comes in. The dual hammer blow. You've got the U.S. running Operation Epic Fury, which was all about taking apart Iran's military. At the exact same time, Israel launches Operation Roaring Lion. And they're not only hitting Iran, they're also launching this massive, separate assault on Hezbollah inside Lebanon. Two distinct missions hitting at the exact same moment.
And the amount of firepower they used on that first night was just immense. We're talking B-2 stealth bombers, Tomahawk missiles from the sea, and some of the most advanced jets on the planet hitting hundreds of targets. This wasn't just dropping a few bombs. It was a full-on multi-domain attack from the air, from the sea, all designed for maximum shock and awe.
But that incredible opening salvo? That was just the beginning. It wasn't a one-and-done deal. That shockwave turned into a sustained, relentless storm of military power that just kept going for over a month.
For 38 days straight, there was no break, no chance for the enemy to recover, to regroup, or even really to think. The whole point was to create this unbearable pace of operations designed to just completely break their ability and their will to fight back.
And the scale, it's almost hard to wrap your head around. Over 13,000 strikes. Just think about that. That averages out to more than 340 attacks every single day for more than a month straight. It's just relentless.
But this wasn't just about blowing things up. No, this was surgical. The goal was to cut the head of the snake, to completely take out the enemy's nervous system. More than 2,000 command facilities were hit, systematically taking away their ability to coordinate any kind of defense.
And you can see the results right here. It was devastating for Iran. Their navy was essentially gone, their air defenses collapsed. Missile factories were in ruins. And, critically, their ability to send weapons and money to their proxies was absolutely crippled.
And while all that was happening to Iran, the attack on Hezbollah was just as intense. Israel was conducting these massive, lightning-fast strikes. We're talking hitting over 100 targets in just a couple of minutes. They made sure Hezbollah was way too busy trying to survive to even think about helping out Iran.
Okay, so this is the really critical part, understanding why this worked so well. It wasn't just about the sheer number of strikes. It was the genius of the strategy behind them.
So here it is, the core logic of the whole operation. Step 1, you hit Iran, the head. Step 2, you hit Hezbollah, the arm, at the exact same moment. This creates total strategic paralysis. Neither one can help the other. They can't send reinforcements, they can't coordinate a response. The entire system just starts to crumble.
And then came the knockout blow. In those first few waves of attacks, Iran's Supreme Leader was eliminated. That sent a shockwave through the entire regime, creating total chaos and paralysis right at the very top.
And you don't have to take my word for it. The top U.S. commander in the region, Admiral Brad Cooper, said it himself. He called it a profound military success and basically said Iran's ability to cause trouble in the region was broken.
But, a military victory on this scale, it never comes for free. It's so important that we look at the whole picture, and that includes the aftermath and the very real human cost.
And this chart really lays it bare. The human toll was incredibly lopsided. While the U.S. tragically lost 13 service members, thousands were killed in Iran and Lebanon. And that's combatants and, unfortunately, civilians caught in the crossfire. It's a really sobering reminder of what this kind of conflict actually costs.
The pressure just became too much. Iran simply couldn't take any more. By early April, they finally agreed to a ceasefire. And this had an immediate effect around the world. The Strait of Hormuz, a critical shipping lane, was reopened, and global trade started to stabilize. And this quote from President Trump really sums up the whole philosophy. From the White House's point of view, it was simple. This was peace through strength. It was a demonstration that when talking fails, overwhelming and decisive force can get the job done.
So when the dust finally settled, what were we left with? Well, the entire strategic map of the region had been redrawn. Iran's military was shattered for years to come. Hezbollah's power was dealt a blow it might not recover from for a generation. And a new, undeniable balance of power had been set in just 38 days.
Which leaves us with one last really big question to think about. A new balance of power was definitely forged in those 38 days. But what's the long-term price of achieving peace through strength? What does it mean for the future?